first pro show, Mexico.
You're not popping your shit.
Yeah.
She won the North American.
She's skipping over something right now.
I won the North American.
At some point inside of there, you won the North,
which is a national competition.
National show.
Oh, not even win, just get on the stage.
Yeah, just
get on the stage.
Because getting there is, you gotta win to get there.
Yeah.
You can't just, that's the thing about bodybuilding too. You gotta win. Right. They don't give you a pro card for showing up.
You gotta win.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta win.
Talking about bodybuilding, but the commitment and dedication that it takes to succeed is universal. Hey, welcome to the Rich Room. My name is John Bettis. You gotta know me by now, man. Are you kidding me? But listen, I'm the host here in the Rich Room. I got an incredible cast today, and I say that all the time because I mean it. Incredible people. You're gonna learn some great stories. And today, man, I wanted to talk about something that is new but near and dear to me, and that's fitness. And that's because y'all know how sexy I am, but you gotta know why and how, and the people around me that I see in that support group that I see that helps me be even more sexier than I am, because you got great things coming. So I want to start, guys, with my far right. This is my guy. We call him Dougie Flexx. Doug, what's going on?
What's going on, brother?
What's
Thank
up,
you very much for having me on. Graciously appreciate it, brother.
My man. Listen, and right next to me, the beautiful Joy Bay.
Hello, I'm here. Thank you for having me on today, Jordan.
Finally.
Finally.
Hey, and to my left, my man, it's Mike B.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on.
My man, you know it.
Appreciate it.
And guys, so I've been trying to get you guys on for a while, right? And and full disclosure, we work out together, and from the gym, it's called Powerhouse here in the city. And these are people that I see every day. We walk in, we always dap each other up, and it's a camaraderie inside of the gym that I never knew existed. It's a completely different world, right? I never knew it existed until I got myself motivated and focused to being consistent in doing it. And once I seen that whole world opened up. You know what I mean? And then I got a chance to really meet. I've always known Joy, but I got a chance to meet you guys, and I appreciate it.
Likewise.
So have you guys been watching the Rich Room? Have you guys been watching episodes?
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah.
Remember, I told you it was good to see my guy Chase on here.
That's right, Chase.
Me and Chase, little backstory. We were on the Black College tour together back when we was in high school, man. And he's a real funny, real good
Hilarious
guy. You know what I'm saying?
That's
and I always
man.
love to run into him, man. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that I met, still got a relationship today. And remember, I told you, I knew back then he would be doing big things. You know what I'm saying?
You did.
Yeah, most definitely.
So I'm glad. So what I want to do is I want to ask you guys. I want to ask you, when I talk to you, when I ask you about coming on to the podcast, what was your thoughts? What was John's crazy? Oh, I like that. But so Joy, what was you thinking? Because I've been on your neck for a while.
Well, yes, you absolutely have been on my neck for a while, and I was waiting on the email, and I'm finally here. So
it was Jasmine's fault.
I actually was at the what'd you say?
It was Jasmine's fault. Sorry, Jasmine.
Don't blame Jasmine. So I actually came to the new spot in Homewood. Mm-hmm. I can't think of the name right now. Lit. And I came to your podcast premiere.
Yep. Good.
And I was seeing your videos on social media beforehand. And I said, all right, he got something going here. Rich Room Live. I like that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I want to get on there. I want to tell my story. I want to talk on the Rich Room Live with John.
I love
Mr.
that.
Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, I love that. So Mike, tell me, what was your thoughts, man?
So, it was an honor to be in here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You and I have been cool really since I started going to Powerhouse.
Yep, same here.
And so I felt thankful to be on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I like the message that you're putting out, the positivity that you're putting out,
all
the success stories that you're putting out. So it was an honor to come on.
I appreciate that, man.
I appreciate it.
And that's what it's about, man. I'm here, and the Rich Room Live is here to tell your story. Because, we downplay ourselves a lot, man, but there's people right now who would actually kill and do anything they could to be you, and to be you. You know what I mean? So with that being said, Joy, tell me about you. Why do I feel like I needed to have you here? Why do you think that?
Oh, I feel like you needed to have me here to inspire, to give people a different outlook on fitness, on motherhood, on life. You know, I'm 42 years old, grandmother, twins.
That's crazy.
Unexpectedly,
yes. Yeah.
But, you know, we're dealing with that. And I think there's a lot of women out here, even a lot of men out here that make excuses as to why they do not have time to fit an hour of fitness into their day.
Yep.
But you can sit and watch hours of Netflix, sit and watch 3 movies.
On your phone.
You know, you can scroll Instagram, scroll Facebook, scroll. You know, it's not that hard to take an hour out of your day. Especially with me working 8 hours a day.
And you still get it in.
And I'm still getting it in. Coming home to be a mother. Now I'm coming home to be a grandmother.
So, Joy, I got a very interesting story about you, right? You know a little bit about it. It's about you and I. So maybe 3-4 years ago, when I decided that I didn't want to be a fat ass no more. I made that decision. I talked to myself, talked very loudly to myself. I was rude. I was very mean to myself. And I told myself I wanted to change, right? So I'm the type of person, like what I'm doing right now, guys, we're here because I'm like a resource. So I love when people call me for help. So I don't have a problem reaching out to people to ask, hey, for help, what are you going through? What's going on with you? So about 4 years ago, you know, when I made the decision to change, I called Joy. The first person I called Joy. I said, Joy, listen, tell me about yourself. Oh, John, I'm like, well, what do you think I need to do? I'm trying to lose weight. I want to get in better shape. She was like, all right, John, this is what you got to do. You got to do this, this, and this. Matter of fact, here's the link. Go buy it. I bought all that shit. I bought it. And that's where my journey started. That day is where my journey started with her.
That's what's up.
And that's why I wanted her on here.
That's dope. You probably didn't even know that, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. That's good. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, so that's
me and Joy talking.
That's where my journey started.
And see, and I met you at the gym. I had no prior. I didn't even know you were John Bettis, brother. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So when I met you, you know, I was just telling him the other day, man, you'd be surprised at people you meet in the gym who you don't know. And it's so dope to see people that you might not know their name. Right. But it's what's up? What's up? Every day. And then when you see them outside of the gym, you excited, like, what's up? Every time. Like you just seeing a relative or something because you see each other, like you say, when you see somebody coming into the gym day in, day out, week in, week out, year in, year out, you know, you unintentionally develop relationships with people. You do. Because everybody's in a place of wanting to motivate and inspire. You know what I'm saying?
They're moving in the same direction.
Yeah, moving in the same direction. And then also holding each other accountable at the same time. You know, we notice when you miss a few days in the gym.
And call like, where you been?
Yes.
Where you been?
Where you been at?
And you accountable for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's a dope environment. And that's why I say, like, you know, for you to ask me to come and sit down and conversate with you guys and these two, man, it's dope. You know, you never know who you're meeting, you know, when you're in the gym. You know, I met one of the CEOs of the Fit Crunch bar years ago. He used to train at the LA Fitness in Pleasant Hills. You know what I'm saying? Just always spoke to each other. Right. You know always what I'm saying? Cool. Yeah, like, you know, it says something about somebody's character when, you know, you can tell they're a genuine person and they treat everybody the same, regardless of all of our different walks of life. You know what I'm saying?
You don't know what they do, who they are, but they're still genuine and speak to you every day. Yeah. That's that community. That's the thing that I didn't know existed in the gym. You know what I mean? But now I'm a part of it. You know what I mean? And I cherish that as well.
Well, I feel like that doesn't exist at all gyms either.
Really?
I think Powerhouse is sort of cultivated.
Okay.
You know, cultivated that
family style.
Right.
Like,
Right.
That's dope. So Mike, wait, I've been at you too, man. So what was your thoughts on did I ask you that? Your thoughts on me asking you to come on?
Yeah, I was super honored. You know what I mean? Because like Dougie, I didn't know who you were either.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like we met at the gym.
Yeah.
We always said what's up. We always talked. You know what I mean? When you were sick, I reached out to see how you were doing because I didn't see you at the gym.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we've just always been cool. So, you know, and I know the podcast is blowing up. So it was an honor to be on.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Yeah. And that's what it's about, man. Yeah. It's about. So Mike, tell me about you, man. And tell me why you think I wanted you on here. Because I had to have you guys. This is intentional.
Somebody backed out, so I got
Damn, Amanda. She's stupid. You're a replacement, man.
Yeah. B squad. So a little bit about me. I had been cutting hair since I was 12 years old.
Okay.
And worked for some other barbers, and then ended up opening my own shop, and then opened a second shop, and then opened my third shop in 2018. It's listed as top 5 in the world for barbershops. And
what's the name of it?
House of Handsome.
Yeah,
House of Handsome.
House of Handsome.
Yep.
Make sure y'all check. Yeah.
You'll see it below.
Check that out.
You will see it below.
Yes.
On everybody, you'll see it below.
Yes.
And then I spent some time in France. I went to school for perfumery. Mm-hmm. So I came back to Pittsburgh and then opened a perfumery where you can come in, spend 2 hours, learn how to create your own perfume, your own cologne. You leave with it that day.
Which is super dope. I did it. I took my wife as an anniversary gift. And I knew when I was a surprise. He helped me surprise her.
Right.
Which was super dope. And if you know women, doing stuff like that is like you get kudos, you get mad points for that type of stuff because it's an activity that you get to do with somebody. And it was very informational going through that process with him, right? Because we also learned what to look for when you're going to go buy a fragrance, you know? Like if you don't know what you don't know, right? Until somebody teaches you. And it was dope to go through that experience. You know what I'm saying? What's the name of it?
Gallimard.
Gallimard,
Pittsburgh.
Gallimard.
I have to check that out.
Perfumery.
Yes.
Perfumery.
Yes.
Man, that's dope.
Yes.
And you studied in France.
Studied in France, yeah.
Man. Yeah. So we definitely got to do that. We need to go on location, man.
Yeah.
We need to do that.
I just had a facial done.
Yeah.
Man.
Let me tell you, I ain't never had a facial done before.
That was your first facial.
Man, they put the wax in my nose and my ear, bro.
You felt great, didn't you?
It did, man. It did. Because I had this one,
you had some issues.
I had this one long ass piece of hair that used to hang out my nose. Used to bother me, you know what I'm saying? But they got that joint out.
They got it out, man. They dug it out.
Felt nice and good after that. You know what I mean? And like I said, like especially for us men, you know, I think it's only right sometimes we pamper ourselves too.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing wrong with going to go get a facial, get your nails done, get your feet done.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? And it was dope. It was, I mean, shoot. His Instagram page, his business page, they actually just posted the visual of when I came into his shop for my shape up and my facial. I had a 24 karat gold.
24 karat gold facial.
24 karat gold.
Yeah, come on, smack.
It's not rose gold.
Right, not gold, but it's gold gold.
You do those for women
gold,
too?
baby. Gold is gold.
Yeah.
So, Joy, tell me a little bit more. We're going to get to Dougie, but tell me about you and your career and where you are because, again, we bounced around a little bit, but I want to know, you're a champion. I want to hear about that.
Talk your shit. Don't talk your shit.
Yeah. Well, I started bodybuilding and I've always trained on and off, you know, for years, but never really taken anything seriously. And I actually used to train with my friend Lou and I can't even think of his name right now, but Lou back in the day. And I was supposed to do a show back in about 2012, but I never ended up doing it. Ended up doing the show.
Scared?
No, they ended up canceling it.
Oh, okay.
Like 2 days before, they ended up canceling the show, and then I ended up eating like this whole big Lord pizza.
Damn.
Gained all the way back, and I just always wanted to do it since then. You know, even back then, I had people would tell me, "Oh, you're getting skinny. Why are you doing this? You need to eat. Like, just didn't know what I was trying to do. Their body will never look like that. It just,
listen, the naysayers, the haters,
and
we love them around here, man.
And then one day I was working doing security somewhere, and I ran into this guy at GNC. I used to go in GNC all the time and like get stuff out of there. And I was telling him I was looking for a coach or whatnot, and he actually showed me a picture of Morgan, and I didn't even know that was his coach at the time. I didn't even know that at all. And I ended up reaching out to him, and when I first started training with him, I'm like, I can't train with this guy. I was like, what's going on?
Was he too intense?
He looks like the Unabomber if you don't know him.
Right.
And he's very introverted. So sometimes...
is he?
Sometimes, like, I've even had friends, right? Because you'll see us in the morning. We'll be by the table. And they'll come over.
They're so intimidated.
And then Morgan won't speak to you. And they'll be like, man, does your coach even say hi? I'm like, he don't know you.
Right, he don't know you.
He don't know you. He don't have no reason to speak to you. And it's not personal. It's not that he don't like you. Yeah, it is. He's not even thinking about you. He's probably thinking about
3 other
one
things.
of his clients then asked him a question. He's not even... You're not even there in the moment unless you
don't even speak to us half the time.
Because if you speak to him, he'll speak back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Time.
So, I mean, and it's funny because it's the same thing with her. Like, I had people that tried to discourage me from him. I had people say to me, he's mean. I had a few people say racist.
Really?
Yeah.
They'll be like, he's mean, and then message me later. Oh, I miss Morgan. You think he'll take me back as a client?
Really?
Baby, you got to ask him that, baby.
Why you asking me?
Don't ask me.
He's just about his
business.
That's what I love about him. He reminds me of my favorite coaches growing up who were the hard coaches. Meaning they were only on you if you was fucking up.
Yeah.
If you was doing what you was supposed to do, they weren't bothering you and they weren't praising you either. Right. You had to understand that it's not that they not praising you, but they trying to keep you in a place to keep you humble. You know what I'm saying? There's that fine line. And I don't need to be patted on the back.
Right.
I need somebody to tell me what I need to correct, what I need to fix.
Right.
I don't need you to tell me I'm doing good.
Yeah.
There's this quote by Sam Mills I live by. I want to be the first person to know how bad I'm doing and the last person to know how good I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's the kind of people I like around me. You know what I'm saying? And I gravitated to him even more once I trained with him because I had never trained with somebody who made me do things I didn't even think I could do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody who wasn't afraid to be like, sit back down, put his hand on my chest.
Right.
Sit down, you're fine.
Right.
Because when you want to hop out the seat,
when it's burning,
you trying to hop out the seat,
he gonna sit you down like,
He gonna be like, nah, fight it.
No.
And then in your mind, you like, motherfucker, I'm fighting it. You know what I'm saying?
And you up there trying to do a lunge, he gonna kick the back of your knee.
You need that person
to push you.
Because you're not going to do that.
Yeah.
Your body's self-defense mechanisms are going to kick in. The first thing you're thinking of is, it's burning so bad, how do it stop?
Yeah.
You got to think of, it's burning so bad, can I keep going? Can I get 5 more?
Right.
Can I get 3 more? Like that was what gravitated me towards him because let me tell you, I've had some hard leg days with some people, but my first leg day with him, I was like, yeah, he's official.
Like, yeah.
Because some people can demand that effort from you and some people can't.
Right.
You know what I mean? And, it's funny, when we started working with him, he was only like $75 a month. He not $75 a month right now.
He's probably way more now.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because when we started working with him, he was just in his beginning phases.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Of coaching. You know what I'm saying? I love speaking about him because he's somebody who you'll never hear of him or you'll never know of him unless you know him.
Right.
He's not really big on social media. He doesn't really care for all of the attention.
And what's his full name?
Morgan Rice.
Morgan Rice.
Yeah.
Morgan Rice.
So Champ. You haven't told me about this championship.
So basically when I met Morgan, I got with him in 2019 in November. And, I'm like, I want to do a show. Right. And he's like, oh, you want to do a show? I'm like, well, yeah. I want to do a show.
That's
That's what I'm trying to do here.
Right.
So he's like, okay, well, I'll write your plan up and we'll do this. And if you're ready on this time, then, we could do a show. So, February 2020 hit the pandemic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Everything was shut down.
Everything was shut down, and then I'm like, damn, what is we going to do? Then I canceled one of the shows. Man. So then I found a different show in October, did that one. And then
2020.
Which one was it? What was the name of it?
Ooh.
Was it the Ohio?
Yeah, the Ohio one.
Ohio.
Yeah, the Ohio show. You know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and then I ended up losing my dad in February of 2020, right before the pandemic.
Wow. Sorry to hear that too.
Yeah. So I'm like in a hospital, gym work, hospital. Then they're like, I show up for work one day. They're like, oh, you know what? We're shutting down for 2 weeks. And I'm like, okay, cool. That turned in a year? Not working for a whole year, 2 years.
Wow.
Not working at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, did you slack off the gym at that point? Or?
I mean, a little bit. I was having a good time. It was a pandemic. We was all tripping. I was in the house drinking me some wine, having a good time, just talking to my girlfriends. But then I saw Doug in the story. I'm like, oh shit, he's still doing his show. And I was like, oh shit. I'm like, I gotta do my show. So I still did my show. Then
you still did the show?
Yeah, I still ended up doing that show in October. And then I did the second show, 2021, got the first overall. And then 2 weeks later, I got a pro card. Then waited a whole year. First pro show, Mexico.
You're not popping your shit.
Yeah.
She won the North American.
She's skipping over something right now.
I won the North American.
At some point inside of there, you won the North,
which is a national competition.
National show. My first national show.
She's competing against the top amateurs in Canada, the United States, and Mexico.
Yeah.
And you took that.
I won that. And, year later, me and Morgan trained for a pro show. And then I flew all the way to Mexico. He's like, you're ready now. I wasn't supposed to do that show at all.
Really?
Pretty much every show I did, I almost didn't do at all.
You almost,
like, seriously.
For some reason, you almost didn't do it. For some reason,
I was like, But I still end up doing them. And, I flew all the way to Mexico City for my first show. Placed third. And then, and that was, them girls was big over there.
Were they?
Yeah, it was like a different breed. But I got third, and I was like, all right. Now, so
that must mean you're
Klash.
a different breed. Wait a minute.
Exactly.
So.
If you took third.
Thank you. In our pro debut.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I almost didn't do the other show 2 weeks later. I'm at the airport eating all these snacks. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing this show 2 weeks later.
You're not doing it yet.
I'm good. I see the judge at the show. He's like, well, what are you going to do? And then he's like, well, I'm optimistic. Yeah. So I'm like, whatever. I come back. I'm like, yeah, Morgan, let's do the Klash. Let's do it.
It's the Orlando, right?
And it's the Orlando.
Yeah, I have to remind her, you got to let these people know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was the Orlando Klash, right?
Orlando Klash.
That's the ring, right?
Yeah, that's the ring.
Whoa. That's the ring?
Yeah, they gave me this ring right here and this bracelet.
Why did they give you a ring and bracelet?
Because I won my second pro show.
Congratulations.
And I went to Olympia in 2022, Vegas, me and Doug.
Wow.
With the same coach.
With the same coach?
Yep, and we finna do it again.
Right, back to back. Time 2024 or 25?
25. I gotta catch up again.
You gotta catch up?
Again.
So tell me.
Every time.
So, Joy, you're still skipping over some parts.
What's up?
So you go to the Orlando Klash.
Yeah.
So how was that experience for you? Like,
woo! I remember on our way to the show in the morning, and I'm like, man, Morgan, I really want to go to Olympia. He's like, Joy, well, you win the show, you go to the Olympia. And I'm like, you know what? I mean, I guess you're right. You know what I mean?
Because you have to qualify for it.
Yes,
exactly.
Right. Yep.
So, I'm standing up there. They was working us bad.
Now, what does that mean, working?
Quarter turn to the right, quarter turn to the right.
Right.
Walk to the back, hold your pose, and you got to hold them. And you got to hold them poses and hold that belly in.
You got to hold it in.
Absolutely.
What is belly? What are you talking about?
Posing.
This one.
Posing is
the art.
Yeah.
It's art.
Is it?
Yes, absolutely.
Posing is an art.
And, I just remember, I'm like, I ain't move. I'm like, I got it. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I qualified to go to the O. And I remember coming out for finals. It was either finals or prejudging. And I'm just looking for Morgan. Like, you can see in the video, I'm like doing my eyes like.
You're like, where is he at?
Yeah. But, you know, I ended up winning that show and I won the ring. I won this. I won a belt.
Wow.
I won 4 bands.
You won 4 bands.
Yeah,
you
won
a champ.
4 bands.
And a title.
Yeah.
And the title.
Pittsburgh's first wellness
And
Olympian.
let me just say this, because
yes.
like you said, like bodybuilding is its own bubble, it's its own world. Unless you're of the bodybuilding world, you don't really understand all the intricate parts of it.
Oh, sure.
So winning a professional show is like not an easy thing to do. There are a lot of professional bodybuilders who are fortunate to become professionals, and they never win a pro.
They will never win.
And there are some people who never win a national show
to
turn pro
on the Olympia stage. Yeah, like so that's what I mean. Like, she's being real humble. You know what I'm
but
saying?
That's a huge accomplishment.
Yes, man. That's so when you make it to the Olympia, you are one of the best bodybuilders in the world.
That's strong.
So when we were in the Olympia, I think there was 147 countries representation. Yeah. You know, and she competed in the wellness division. She's competing against the best
in the world.
Wellness division ladies in the world. Australia, Brazil, and if you know about Brazil, they've been turning them out. You know what I'm saying?
With the
like bodybuilding is a global sport. You know, as far as in the United States, you're really only knowledgeable of it if it's something that you like to watch or you're into it. You know what I mean? It's like anything else. Like I was telling her on the whatever. Yeah, like if you ain't into gymnastics, you might not know who Simone Biles is. You know what I'm saying? But Simone Biles is a huge figure in the gymnastics world. You know, it's kind of similar to us in the bodybuilding. You know, and I like for people to hear accomplishments like herself, man, because a lot of people, she made it look easy.
Right.
So a lot of other people think, like a lot of people will look at her and think that it's easy.
It's not.
Man.
It's not.
No, it's not easy at all.
So Doug, why were you at the Olympian? We know why she was there. Why were you there?
I was fortunate enough to win my pro debut in the Toronto Pro in 2021. I drove up to Toronto,
man,
in December. And that was a crazy story in itself. So at that time, Canada wasn't letting people in unless you had the vaccination. So my original plan was to do the Tokyo. I wanted my pro debut to be like in another country.
Right.
Because I told my coach, if I'm able to turn pro, I'm gonna be that pro that's gonna travel.
Right.
I don't care about
you going to all this.
I didn't get into bodybuilding for like, you know, I want to win and stuff like that, but I really love the sport. I love what it did for me, and I want to be able to travel, and I want to be able to take my family with me and travel the globe.
Yeah.
And if I'm able to win competitions and win money doing it, that's a bonus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So because of COVID, I wasn't able to fly to Japan to do the Japan. My representative out there at the time was like, they might cancel the show, and if they do, you can't even enjoy the town.
You can't.
So I wouldn't even recommend coming.
Yeah.
So when I looked on the IFBB website, I saw that the Toronto Pro had got pushed back to December. It's normally in July. So I told my coach, it was 3 weeks after the Japan. So I was like, fuck it, let's do it. He was like, all right, let's do it. That'll be our pro debut. My coach is a wild boy, so he's not allowed into Canada.
He's not.
Yeah, he's not allowed into Canada.
I understand.
So when I decided to do the show in Canada, me and my wife were supposed to go. So I got my COVID shot. I was ready to go. She got her COVID shot, but she got it late. So they legit would not let my wife into the country because she didn't have her COVID shot 14 days before entering the country. Yeah. I had to take her back to Grove City to meet her mom. And when I tell you I was stressed out, I was nervous, the whole nine, like, you know how you plan to do something and it from the beginning, it starts to not go well. Yeah. So then you start playing those mind tricks like, fuck, I probably shouldn't even go. Yeah. You know what I mean?
All that self-doubt comes in.
I drove her back to meet her mom at Grove City, and then I drove up in Toronto, and it was funny because I didn't know that I needed to call my cell phone company to let them know I was going into Toronto. Right. So, you know, they be serious at that border. So, you know, I give the lady my stuff and she's like, what are you coming into Canada for? So I tell her I'm coming in for a bodybuilding competition. So she goes, good
Take
luck.
your shirt off.
She goes, she gives me back my passport and says, good luck. And as soon as I'm in the country, my phones will not work.
Yeah, you're off the circuit.
Morgan's trying to call me. He's panicking. Kayla can't get in touch with me.
Nobody knows where you are, man.
I'm panicking because I can't call nobody. It's dark now. I left out early enough to be able to drive, so it wouldn't be dark when I got there.
Yeah.
But because I had to drive my wife back to Grove City and then drive back into Canada, by the time I got to Canada, it was super dark. So my GPS was still working, so I ended up finding my way to my hotel. I got lost at first because Toronto's big as hell.
Yeah, Toronto's big.
Toronto's huge.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't my first time there, but that was my first time, like, me being there driving. So I'm in Canada by myself. I stayed at the host hotel, and it's cold as shit. It's December in Canada. Like, when I tell you, I could feel the snot in my nose freezing when I got out the car. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, this is crazy. So I compete in the 212 division. So I compete in the 212 division. I wanted to just place in the top 5. As a bodybuilder, that's always my goal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You end up winning, great, right? But bodybuilding is a subjective sport. It really comes down to what the judges think.
Who the judges are, what they're thinking.
Typically, the top 5, top 3, you could flip a coin. You can always give it either way.
Yeah.
It just depends on what the judges want, who they pick. So I'm always happy when I make a first call out. I did not think I was going to win that. So I also competed up against David Henry. He's a legend. He's a previous 202 champion, Olympian. You know what I'm saying? And the other guy that I was competing up against too, the other guys that was basically slotted to win it, was from Canada. This Liberian guy, big as hell.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I remember being back in weigh-ins, you know, everybody sizing each other up.
Yep, of
day
course.
before, you know what I'm saying? And we all typically, like, I wear baggy shit, so I don't like people looking at me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But pretty much everybody does the same thing. So when I see him take his stuff off backstage, I was like, ball.
You like, here we go.
I'm looking at his legs. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Like, here we go.
But they're also looking at me the same way.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we get up on stage, we do what we do. And I remember when I got off, so in the morning it's called prejudging. That's where we do our mandatory poses. That's pretty much where they pick our placing.
Okay.
So I remember I was in the middle. And if you finish in the middle, you typically win.
Okay.
My coach don't FaceTime me. I can give you 5 times count on my fingers. I can tell you how many times he FaceTimed me. But he FaceTimed me when I got off stage, and he's like, "You won," and I'm like, "No, I don't know yet. I don't like to say I won until they give me the award because I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen where you think you win and they give it to the person next to you. You know what I mean? So I'm like, wait a minute, I don't know yet. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. Man, bro, let me tell you, excuse me if I get emotional because I never expected that.
Right.
I legit, that was something that happened. And when it happened, I was like, what the fuck?
Like, wow.
Because I remember being in the movie theater saying to my dad, like, before I gave bodybuilding a shot, I was like, how cool would that be if I could ever get on that stage?
And win.
Bruh.
Oh, not even win, just get on the stage.
Yeah, just get
on the stage.
Because getting there is, you got to win to get there.
Yeah.
You can't just, that's the thing about bodybuilding too. You got to win. Right. They don't give you a pro card for showing up.
You got to win.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to win.
That shit.
So, you know, excuse me, little Terry, but I get emotional when I talk sometimes.
Hey,
just because it was a real significant point in my life too, because at the time, I enjoyed bodybuilding, and you know, I had those feelings and emotions. At the time, I drove for Port Authority, so I used to drive a bus for the city. And the past couple years, I just kind of felt like I wanted to take that leap.
Yeah,
man. And when I won that show, I was like, "Yep, that's
like
it.
That.
Go for it.
Go for it."
And I always told myself, I'd rather live. And I don't want to wonder what if. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
like I don't want to be 80 years old like, man, if I would have tried.
Yeah, listen.
You know what I'm saying? What could I have did? So I was like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? I won that show and I walked away. I walked away from Port Authority. You know what I'm saying? And I've been gone ever since. That was 2021. You know what I'm saying?
You've been doing your thing.
Yeah, you know, and you know, I've been able to travel the country, you know what I'm saying? A lot of things that I've been able to do it's been amazing, you know what I'm saying? You know, the places that I've been able to go, all the things that bodybuilding has done for me. And, you know, for me to just even be able to get to the Olympia, you know, and then just recently, I won the Masters down in Atlanta this summer, and I punched my ticket to the Masters Olympia in Tokyo for 2025.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? So, you
Champions.
know, yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, you know,
I'm going to.
There were times in my bodybuilding career, because I've only been bodybuilding since 2015. 2025 will be 10 years I've been bodybuilding. I've only done 11 shows, and I've been to the Olympia. Only time I didn't place top 5 at a bodybuilding show was at the Olympia. Man. But granted, I'm competing against the best bodybuilders in the world. You know what I'm saying? And had I been able to get top 5 at the Olympia, that'd have been stupid. Man. You know what I'm saying? Like that would have been crazy.
So with that, I think, Mike, you got to tell me about your journey, because so now you picked a champion to train with. You know what I mean? So what's your goal?
So I mean, both of them are bodybuilding legends. Yeah. Like in my mind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you get to that point in your career, you know, you're undeniable. You know what I mean? Because like Dougie said, you're up there with the best of the best in the world.
Yeah.
No matter where you place on that Olympia stage,
you're still with the best of the
best. You're with the best of the best.
You're one of the best of the best.
Yeah. And so I never really worked out in my life. And I went to the NPC in Pittsburgh in 2022 because I had a friend that was competing. And I remember walking in, and it was like its own subculture of people. Like the energy was crazy. And so I said, you know, maybe I should try to compete, because I had retired in 2023. So I said, well, you know, maybe I should try to compete. So ended up, you know, with the coach, ended up switching to Dougie, right? And I always say, you know, what do you get when you mash potatoes, right? You get mashed potatoes.
That's right.
So I always say, if you want to be the best, you have to be with the best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And in my mind, Dougie is the best. You know, he's not only, you know, my coach, but he's a mentor. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's one of my best friends at this point. You know what I mean? So I implicitly trust him with anything and with everything. And I remember before he even started coaching me, he was like, your first show is going to be the Pittsburgh. You'll be ready. I'm going to have you on stage for the Pittsburgh. I'm like, all right, well, let's fucking go.
Let's go.
So, you know, anything that he tells me to do or suggests for me to do, like, I don't even question it. You know what I mean? If I don't understand something, I'll ask a question about it. Yeah. But I never question anything that he says. That's dope. Or anything that he tells me to do. And so we've been together since, I don't know, maybe June. June.
Yeah, because I stopped training at LA Fitness in Monroeville. Well, I wasn't training there. I stopped going there about June.
Yeah. Okay. And it's been an amazing journey. Yeah. It's been amazing.
That's strong, man.
Yeah.
I'm proud. Listen, I have a front row seat and I watch. You know what I mean? So I'm watching it. Yeah. And that's why I really wanted to have you guys on too. Appreciate you know what I mean? To talk about that. So another thing, I really want you guys, if you think about like someone who is starting out in the process, someone who may be looking at bodybuilding, or because we're talking about bodybuilding, but the commitment and dedication that it takes to succeed is universal for anything you want to do, right? It's universal. You got to be committed. You have to give everything, because if you leave anything on the table, that sacrifices your success. Yeah. You know what I mean? That limits your success. Sorry. Yeah. So what advice, and Joy, you start. What advice would you give to someone who is looking to start a new career, or enter bodybuilding, or just to be fit? Like, what would you tell them? Tell them what you got to say.
I would say, what is your why? Why are you doing this? I mean, for me, I was tired of sitting on the couch. I was tired of being depressed. I said, you know, this dream's going to sit with me if I don't ever just get on this stage just this one time. Right. And the one time turned into 6 times, and turned into Olympia and a pro. You just have to go with your gut. Take your time. Don't rush. You're not on anyone's time but your own time. Stay away from naysayers.
Right. The haters.
Just put one foot in front of the other every day.
Right.
You know, I didn't think that I would be dealing with everything that I'm dealing with right now. Like every time I tried to prep or do something, I done, lost my father.
Something happened.
My family, prison, 20 years. Now I got twins, or crashed my car. It's just been so much happening. I need to go that deep.
Throwing something.
But you just have to move at your own pace, and whatever you want is going to take time.
Okay.
It's not an overnight process.
Be patient.
And I'm still learning myself.
Yeah.
Everything that I'm trying to do and what I want to do. I have a lot of ideas and a lot of things I want to do, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm not even gonna rush it anymore. Just gonna take your time. All and your journey is your journey alone.
That is.
And don't expect anybody to come on with it with you.
So, Mike, what's your thoughts? What are you telling that person hitting a snag in the road or hitting an obstacle and need a little push?
Yeah, I mean, I would say the same thing like you and Joy said. I mean, you have to be patient, right? There's going to be bumps in the road.
Yeah.
And you can't allow those bumps to prohibit you from doing what you want to do. And sometimes those bumps come in the form of people, Oh, yeah. And we were talking about that earlier.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Nobody wants to see you do well. Nobody wants to see you do better than them, So there's always going to be people that tell you that you can't do something because of this or because of that.
Right.
And you just have to say, fuck it. And you have to.
You got to do it.
You have to do it.
You have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I run up against that.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't tell you how many people tell me negative stuff.
Yeah.
Man.
One ear and out the other ear.
I walk through places. If I'm at a bar or something, I walk through and I hear, as I'm passing, people saying stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I take it with a smile and keep moving.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, Doug, you tell me, what do you tell that person, man?
The main universal ingredient is consistency. I don't care what it is you want to do. You could want to be an underwater basket weaver.
Don't matter.
You gotta be consistent and diligent in your process, no matter what happens. They say sometimes it takes 10 years to get that 1 year to change your life.
Yeah.
And sometimes more than not, people give up before they get to their breakthrough.
Yeah.
And sometimes you gotta be broken down to get built back up.
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah. If you want to get into bodybuilding, you want to get into shape, you want to start a business, I don't care, whatever it is that you want to do, you have to create a plan, you have to execute. They say nobody plans to fail, everybody fails to plan.
Yeah.
You have to put things in motion, you have to put your left foot in front of your right foot and in front of your left foot.
You gotta keep going.
Sometimes too many people get caught up. When I was younger, I used to always say, I got time.
Right.
And then the older I got, the more time I realized I don't have.
You don't have time.
I don't have time. Time is the one thing I can't ever get back.
Yeah.
I can't get
You'll
10
never
minutes.
get a minute
10
back.
minutes ago is gone.
Yeah.
So I have to be consistent and diligent in my process every day. Every day counts. Am I perfect every day? No.
Nah.
Hell no. It's not about being perfect. And I think sometimes in regards to fitness, a lot of people feel like they have to be perfect. I know some people that say, they don't see no point in going to the gym once or twice a week.
Right.
It's better than nothing.
Slow motion is better than no
balance. And you got to crawl before you walk.
Yeah.
Think about how many people you know who make this mistake. I'm going to the gym January 1st. They go hard as hell for 5 days. And then Saturday, Sunday, they sore as hell. Yeah. And they don't go back to the gym.
Yeah, you did too much.
Because in their mind, they think that they want something delayed gratification. They want something now.
Yeah.
And most people don't realize you have to put in the work and you got to be consistent in putting in the work. If I get a jar this big and I put 1 penny in there every day, it ain't gonna look like nothing. But over time, that jar gonna be filled up with a bunch of pennies.
Yeah.
And that's with anything that you do in life. I wish I understood that when I was younger.
Yeah, that's
you know, because when I remember going to college, I was a biology pre-med major. I wanted to be a doctor. But I'm like, man, I ain't going to school for 10 years. But it's like, why not put that 10 years to use?
Yeah, man.
Why not look at it from the positive perspective and say, man, God willing, I'm going to be here in 10 years. So why not put that 10 years to use? You know, when I started looking at things, like, look at me, 10 years in bodybuilding.
Right.
I done became an IFBB champion and an Olympian. I done went from a regular, not saying that I'm not still a regular person, but I remember going into the gym and not knowing how to work out.
Right.
I knew how to lift like a football player.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know how to go in and show somebody how to train your back, how to train your chest, how to create a connection, right? Because a lot of people who are previously athletes still train like that.
Yeah.
But you don't know what you don't know. That's what I enjoy about working with him. You know what I'm saying? Actually, when we train chest, he actually feels his chest engaging.
Yeah.
He actually feels a pump. You know, I always explain to people, there's a difference between being strong and building. You can be strong and build, but you have to understand how to build. Somebody can have a 500-pound incline bench, but have no development in their chest because they're not training to develop the muscle. They're training to be strong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I remember going into the gym and my boy Smiley used to run the workouts because I ain't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? To be where I'm at right now, man, it's a blessing. You know, and bodybuilding has been my vehicle to motivate and inspire the masses. You know what I'm saying?
Dope,
I ain't perfect and I don't try to be. You know what I'm saying? I'm a regular person.
You'll never be.
But at the same time, you know, I love to share my knowledge and my wisdom with people, and I love to teach and I love to learn at the same time.
It's dope, man. So listen, guys, at this point, man, I wanna thank you. I have something that I do. It's a tradition for me, right? It's a tradition, and I want you guys to grab your glass, and I want to officially welcome you guys to the Rich Room, man. I've been waiting.
Appreciate you.
I've been waiting on this. I've been waiting.
Appreciate you.
I'm sitting with champions. Whoa. Can we see that ring? Can we see that? Can we do like a Rocky type, Muhammad Ali type?
Yeah, that's a big old ring. You know what I'm saying?
Damn. I'm gonna need to wear that for a second. I'm
gonna need to borrow that card.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. So again, the message. I mean, I'm sitting with champions, man. I'm sitting with champions. So as I'm on my journey, me and Mike, we're on journeys. They're still on their journeys, and this is for you. You know, take a listen. These guys are doing it. Their information is below. Reach out. Everybody's normal. You know, they're working out at Powerhouse. You want to see them? Call them. You know, DM them. Get with them. There's a plan for you, and we can all do better. So with that, guys, listen. Welcome to the Rich Room. Check us out. Hey, we'll be right back, man. We got great conversations, and I want to talk to them a little bit more, y'all. You know what I mean? So, hey, cheers.
Cheers. Come on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They got one.